Nanotechnology is a futuristic term that you may have heard of in science fiction or popular science magazine, but it's a growing field that's just getting started.
Nanotechnology is not a science or an industry, but actually a measurement. Anything that's measured at 100 nanometers or less is considered part of nanotechnology. Just how small is 100 nanometers?
So 100 nanometers, just to give you perspective on that, for example, the head of a pin is 1 to 2 million nanometers across. A human hair is about 100,000 nanometers across. So we're talking about things that are extremely small, and it can be materials, it can be a variety of elements of the periodic table or complex molecules. It's really a broad umbrella term.
Just because something is extremely small doesn't necessarily make it useful. What nanotechnology is that by changing the size of a molecule, you can change its physical properties, creating whole applications for that element.
So one of the really interesting things about working with nanotechnology is that if you take a material that behaves in a certain way at its normal or natural size, and then break it down into nanosize, because of things like quantum mechanics and other chemistry and physical properties, the same element will actually behave very differently when it's at an extremely small level. Things which are normally opaque become transparent. You can tune things like catalytic properties, conductive properties, and these are you can do this using materials that wouldn't normally have those properties. Current applications of nanotechnology that are in the market include, for example, zinc oxide in sunscreens. If you have a wrinkle-resistant pants or wrinkle-resistant shirt, that might include some carbon types of nanotechnology. We consider these to be very early applications, kind of the building blocks of what we think will be much more exciting applications down the road.
Skip Campbell works for Northern Nanotechnology, a company formed in 2006 who uses nanotechnology to help solve customers' problems, like creating paint that doesn't scratch or fade.
So Northern Nanotechnologies has been in business since 2006. Our main business right now is as a nanomaterials design company. So we have the ability to work with a wide variety of elements and complex molecules to design solutions for industrial partners around almost any property that they're looking to create. So some of our customers, for example, work with coatings. We can tune physical characteristics like hardness. We can tune optical characteristics and conductive and catalytic characteristics.
Although nanotechnology is in its early stages, there's a lot of buzz about this field because of its potential. Science has only scratched the surface of what can be done. There's a whole periodic table to research and experiment.
Well, we see nanotechnology as representing the next era in materials. So if you think about human history and the development of things like stone tools, and then starting to work with metals, starting to work with bronze, and then developing things like steel and plastics, these each represent a major advance in terms of materials available for human use. And nanotechnology, we really believe, represents the next jump there. If you look at plastics, for example, plastics is now a $400 billion industry in the US alone. And really what plastics involves is working with one element, carbon, and tuning physical characteristics such as strength and flexibility of existing materials using that one element. Well, with nanotechnology, we can address the majority of elements on the periodic table and tune across those same types of properties that plastics does with one element. So if you think about the impact of plastics, and that's in medical devices, it's in packaging, it's in aeronautics, it's really very broad. Well, we can have a significantly broader impact than that because of the wider variety of materials that we can address.
Big Fish Video Productions.